Welcome back, my friends, to the Predictive Playbook. I'm your host. Glad that you're attending here. We're going to talk some college football. This is going to be the first of many dozens of shows leading up to the beginning of week 1 here in September 4th, 2021. This show is being recorded in a live fashion right now, obviously, but if you're watching an archived version, I did this on August 2nd, 2021. There will be updates, and there's also an article over at wagertalk.com/news that will be used to provide written updates as well to this matchup that I think is worth betting now. And the Florida Gators are going to kick off their 2021 college football season by hosting an in-state rival who has been kind of on the rise in recent years in Florida Atlantic. Florida had opened as a 25-point favorite several weeks ago, and now it's down to 24.5. And I'll tell you why I think this is worth betting now. You want to put about 50% of your normal bet size. So if you bet $100 a game and that's your normal bet size, putting 50 down now makes a lot of sense at 24.5. The reason I think this line could go as low as 17.5, certainly down to 20 or 21.5 is my belief right now, and is my opinion. It's based on the analytics. It's based on the fact that Florida Atlantic has 20 of 22 returning starters, including the quarterback. They also got through the transfer portal, an excellent running back to add to an already very good ground attack that averaged 170 rushing yards per game last year. And I think this Florida Atlantic team, although they may not gain over 200 yards against Florida, is going to average over 200 per game for the season. And obviously, if they do gain 200 or more against Florida, that's going to go a long way for them to easily cover this spread. My predictive models right now, presuming there are no significant injuries ahead of the start on September 4th, says that this game could be as low as an 11-point Florida win. That gives us plenty of margin right now to take advantage of that 24.5. And let's see how the next couple of weeks go, even this week. See if we get a 24 print, 23.5 print. Because with 20 of 22 starters returning and all 5 offensive linemen, 2 of which are going to be playing on Sundays, I think this is going to be a very well-prepared team for this in-state game. And Florida may be caught looking here, even though it's the first game of the season. They have Alabama 2 weeks later, and who could blame them for getting caught looking ahead to that game? So they'll play 2 what they would call scrimmages, but I don't think this is going to be a scrimmage before they face Alabama in a huge showdown. So of these starters for Florida, only 5 are returning on defense and only 5 on offense, and they will have a new quarterback under center. Many times we think these SE teams just reload, but to reload 7 on each side of the ball even is tough for an Alabama to do, although Alabama is the exception, so is Clemson, so is Ohio State. But Florida is not one of those types of programs that can simply just reload. They can reload portions, but they can't reload, and they're missing a lot of that offensive line from last year and the year before, and that is a problem with chemistry too, because the offensive line is very much like a game within a game. That unit must operate independent of really the overall strategy of the play. They must execute their job within that unit. It's not a linebacker doing excellent coverage against a tight end, for example. This is all 5 guys working together as one cohesive unit. Florida Atlantic has all 5 coming back, and that experience is going to serve them extraordinarily well during the first month of their season. So in addition to this game, I would keep my eyes on Florida Atlantic during the first 4 weeks of the regular season with that advantage that they enjoy. Last year, the offense did sputter a little bit. They do have a couple guys here that are very good. The former University of South Florida running back Johnny Ford, who gained 1,175 yards and 13 touchdowns last season, will be part of this running stable. And although he probably will be the featured back, they have 5 more guys that they can filter in and keep everybody fresh. And then come that late in the third, fourth quarter, they're going to be much more rested than the opposing defense. And I do think that this offensive line can wear down the Florida defense, especially if Florida takes this game lightly. I also like the Owls over 7.5 wins in 2021. I think they could win as many as 9. And this is the second year for head coach Taggart, and they are in a great place to build off this Lane Kiffin era that really got the ball rolling for this particular team in Conference USA. They've won the Conference USA title 2 of the last 3 seasons. This would make it 3 of the last 4 seasons, and I think they will get that done. Further, Taggart's 25-11 against the spread as a road underdog and 19-6-1 in road games in the first 6 weeks of the season in his coaching career. That's a pretty darn good track record there for a head coach. And lastly, we have a betting angle here. This betting angle has earned a 36-5-1 record. That's good for 86% winning bets. You didn't hear that wrong. 36-5-1 over the last 30 NCAA football seasons. The requirements are to bet on a road team in the first month of the season that was a bowl team from the previous season, but lost the last 2 games of the regular season, and including the bowl game, and now are facing an opponent that lost their last 2 games. That would be Florida. So this all adds up in this easy to understand betting angle to take Florida Atlantic Owls plus the 24.5 points now. 50% of your normal betting amount. Again, $100 better would bet $50 now, and we'll see how it goes. And if it starts to trend down, we can add that other 50%, maybe at 23.5 or 23, knowing that there's a movement going on that is going to drive it lower and lower over the next 4 weeks ahead of this September 4th start. So I like this game quite a bit right now. We still have 5 weeks to go, essentially, before this game is even kicking off. A lot of things can happen, but for now, taking half of a regular bet, I think, is a wise decision. So on behalf of myself, the Predictive Playbook, and the WagerTalk.com and Sportsmemo.com, I hope you enjoyed this show. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe to the Predictive Playbook so you never miss a show, because I'm going to have some very special guests, elite guests, coming on these shows in the weeks ahead of football. Till 4 o'clock this afternoon from Manny's Irish Pub with Tony Finn and Rob Vino at WagerTalk.com. May all the wins be yours.